There are certain things that need to take place before a monument can be installed. So it's really worth taking time to think about how to plan and design a memorial that truly reflects a person's life. It's actually a healing activity that helps to alleviate grief.
John, this makes a lot of sense.
It does. And when the time is right to proceed, not only can Roe Monument help families choose and design their memorial, we can help them save as much as 50% by eliminating the middleman.
Thank you, John. Folks, you can learn more simply by visiting RoeMonuments.com.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. Are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
Football season is here, and East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Save is your tailgate headquarters. With all the food and beverages you need to make your tailgates and game day parties the best in town. Fire up the grill with their top quality meats, delicious burgers, hot dogs, and chicken wings. Get your cheese and meat platters, dips, and all your game day snacks. Check out their wide variety of wines and the beer cave. Don't miss out on amazing weekly specials and save money at the pump with every dollar you spend. Stop by your Shop and Save at the Tuska Plaza or East Rochester today for everything you need this football season.
The Pitt Panthers are looking to rebound from a dismal 2023. Follow the Panthers as Beaver County Radio will broadcast select games throughout the season. University of Pittsburgh football on Beaver County Radio is brought to you by Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Saves, The True Value Hardware, inside East Rochester Shop and Save, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Geneva College, Beaver Falls Athletic Department, the Fry Transportation Group, and Beaver County Radio.
All right, so the computer's going to be like that. I'm already wound up. I'll take on technology. It's what I've been yelling about. Matthew Modany, and good talk. It'll be soothing. It's coming up after news on Teleforum.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls. Beaver County Radio's news source. 95.7 and 99.3 FM. Along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Noah Haswell here on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Friday, August the 23rd of 2024, we can expect sunny skies today with a high of 80 degrees. We will have a complete Beaver County weather forecast, but for now, here is a look at news. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that on Wednesday afternoon, 3 suspects have been identified and jailed after a bank robbery at the First Commonwealth Bank located at 80 Wagner Road in Center Township. According to Center Township Police Chief Aldo Legge, Center Township Police, PA State Police, Aliquippa, and Monaca Police responded, and they have arrested 43-year-old Latoya Young of Canton, Ohio, who was the driver of the getaway vehicle, and 2 males, 36-year-old Christopher Lucius and 32-year-old Matthew Smith. One of the male robbers attempted to flee on foot, and it was apprehended by Aliquippa Police Sergeant Nico Dorigo and Mitch Himes from the Monaca Police Department. Latoya Young and the other male were also apprehended when police stopped them. According to Chief Legge, all 3 are lodged in the Beaver County Jail, and $80,000 was taken from the robbery. A murderer has been identified by police that killed 20-year-old Triana Washington in Aliquippa, whose death was confirmed as a homicide. On Tuesday, 25-year-old Jason Banks Jr. was charged with homicide and 2 assault charges not too long after Washington's body was found Saturday morning on the 1200 block of McMinn Street in an alley. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible also confirmed that Banks was Washington's boyfriend. A video was discovered by police, and court documents said Banks assaulted Washington at 7 p.m. on Friday and then tried to push her downstairs. There was also a third person who was seen with Banks and Washington between Reed Street and Wade Street, and a shotgun noise was heard when the trio went through the 2 streets. That third person was identified by police and, while interviewed, told those investigating that Washington was shot by Banks. Banks is being held at the Beaver County Jail without bond. An Aliquippa man was stabbed early Thursday morning and has been taken to the hospital. Police were informed of the stabbing report as they were called to Town Towers at 2:35 a.m. The victim was stabbed in the left arm and had deep lacerations to his forearm after being attacked on a stroll to an apartment building, and a witness told officers that the man was also attacked inside the building's elevator. Police said nothing was spotted inside the elevator. However, inside the dumpster outside of the apartment, there was some bloody clothing. Anyone aware of any further information about this incident can call Aliquippa Police at 724-775-0880. Governor Josh Shapiro has announced that communities in 32 counties in Pennsylvania will go through 66 transportation projects that total nearly $51 million, including 8th Street in Ambridge. On Tuesday, Shapiro confirmed that $1.9 million will be used to affect 8th Street in the middle of Route 65 and Merchant Street, which will have plans to place a median to control speed and turning of traffic, as well as enhancing sidewalks and crosswalks. Pennsylvania is offering its first ever mobile infant formula bank. On Wednesday, it was shown off to the public by Beverly's PGH at no cost, providing both supplies and lactation consultations. Since its inception in 2022, the company has taken care of more than 3,000 babies in both Westmoreland and Allegheny counties.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Some areas could see some patchy fog through the mid-morning. Otherwise, a beautiful sunny day with a high near 80. Partly cloudy tonight will drop down to a low of 56. Lots of sunshine expected tomorrow. Look for a high of 85 and an overnight low of 60. More sunshine on Sunday will reach a high of 86 and a low of 65. And mostly sunny on Monday. We'll see highs in the mid-80s and a low of 67. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Teleforum is on the air on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. The show is presented by East Rochester and Tusca Shop and Saves. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. I was looking forward to it last month, but you took some time off. Please welcome to the program, because it's his program, not me. No pressure at all. Matthew Modany joins me. It's called Good Talk, and good to see you again. I missed you last month. We're going to make up for it.
Yeah, we will. The feeling's mutual. It's good to be back, and we'll have fun.
I'm going to ask you straight out before we get going. Is it harder to find good than it was 10 years ago? Because I remember you and I sitting down talking about you wanted to do a show, and we're going to do this show, and you said, I want to call it Good Talk. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll be honest with you. In the back of my head, I go, yeah, good luck finding topics with that, my friend. So is it more difficult?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's social media, the COVID years, whatever it was. It seems like the art of conversation's been a little lost recently. I love sitting down and talking with people about anything, so just don't see as much of that anymore. A lot of short answers. Yes, no, maybe.
Grunts, clicks, whistles.
Yeah.
Nods.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for this. For people that don't know who you are, let everybody know what you do and everything about what you do. Because to me, it's an interesting story on its own.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, my name's Matthew Modany. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker and the Michael and Nicole Reed team. Born and raised in the Pittsburgh area. I'm a Beaver County guy myself, and I've been a full-service realtor for about 8 years now, and alumni of Lincoln Park in Midland, Robert Morris up in Moon.
You and my daughter, Lincoln Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very proud alumni. I was one of their first graduating classes, actually, class of 2011. So I'm a Beaver County and Pittsburgh guy through and through, and this is what I've been doing now for the last 8 years is real estate, and I love what I do. I love helping people, and I'm happy to talk with anyone. I'm a golfer, TV and movie buff, obviously a big Pittsburgh sports fan. We got Penguins and Steelers season right around the corner, and
I like how you just completely disassociated with the Pirates.
Oh, they're breaking my heart right now. I mean, I might touch on that a little bit later. I had something to say, but yeah, they're at the bottom of the list right now after the last 3 weeks.
A couple of days ago, the 0-0 game that blew up at the end.
I watched it.
Oh, and I'm listening to it here, and I'm driving. I go, Bednar! Damn it! And I'm having a fit, and I'm sitting in a stoplight, and this poor woman looks up next to me, and she's like, she's got that, I think he's having a seizure look. And I rolled the window down. I go, nah, Pirates lost. She go, oh, okay, and drove off.
Yeah.
All right. Which would you rather watch? You got one option: season tickets for the Pirates, season tickets for the Penguins, season tickets for the Steelers.
Oh, Penguins all day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
Hockey's always been my favorite. I've loved the Penguins since I was young. And
who's your all-time? Is it Lemieux?
It probably is, and I'm sure, over time, Crosby, Malkin, all the popular names. I have a lot of favorites, but yeah, Mario's my number one in my book for sure.
To come back after cancer and after back surgery and I don't know if you know this, he's got an incredibly snarky little dry sense of humor.
He does, yeah. I've heard that about him in some of the clips and stories I've heard.
Makes me love him more.
Oh, even more, yeah, even better. Everything he's done for the city and what he does, with his Austin's Playrooms, the different charities he's involved in. Just too many reasons to name why he's number one in my book.
He's the team owner, whatever, because the Penguins had no other options. Mm-hmm. They said, okay, we owe you a bunch of money. How about you? We were within an hour of the Civic Arena being padlocked.
Yeah. Yeah. Non-exaggeration. A lot of people don't realize how close it really got.
I do want to ask you about real estate because I flip through and I see these shows on TV and I got questions. Matthew Modany is my guest. It's Good Talk. We do this one Friday at 11 o'clock, one Friday a month. You're a real estate professional. Explain to me when I'm flipping through and I see a husband and wife, they're shopping for their dream home. He raises salamanders and she is a home baker. And they've got a budget of $1.7 million? How's that shaking out? Because I bought a house once, and I don't remember those numbers working.
Yeah, I guess the short and sweet answer would be studio magic, right? So,
so lies.
Yeah, that's another way to put it. I'll tell you, the real deal is the shows are always entertaining, and that's why they're so popular, but they definitely gloss over a lot of what the reality of real estate is. And yeah, sorry to break any bad news to listeners out there, but if you're a basket weaver and a dog walker.
And there's nothing wrong with those jobs.
No, not at all. But like you said, the HGTV reality is your budget's probably not going to be $1.5 million if you guys are bringing in $80,000 together and, like I said, working independently. It's entertaining, but it's not reality TV, even if they want to call it that.
You've done this for, what did you say, 8 years?
Yeah, coming up on 8 years.
How has it changed? You see the stories, and I'm sure you're up on it better than me because it's your profession. The stories of all of the affordable housing is no longer affordable because hedge fund people are buying it all up and trying to turn America into a company town. Mm-hmm. How realistic is that, and where are we in that process, if it exists?
It definitely exists. I've only ever practiced here. From what I've heard from colleagues in other areas, it's a lot more prevalent in other areas. We don't see a ton of it here yet. It remains to be seen if it's going to catch on, sooner or later. But
how does it work? I'm selling a house. Yeah. You show up, and you say, well, okay, this house is. Do you tell people a number? Here's what I think we can get for this house.
Yeah, I mean, let's say we're on the buyer side, right? Me and you go look at a house together,
okay,
and you like it. You decide you want to buy it, right? Well, we go through the process of estimates, putting your offer paperwork together, really make sure we got all of our ducks in a row.
Inspections
and appraisal. Yeah, that all goes together when you're discussing putting an offer in on a home with your real estate agent. The problem is all the work that you and I may put in. Some of these giant corporations, they just cut a check for the house, and the average Joe can't do that in most cases. But again, luckily for us, it doesn't seem to be real prevalent in our area yet, especially compared to other markets where you might see it on the news. But luckily it's not too local. But I always tell people, keep in mind, real estate is very localized. So what you might hear out of New York, Florida, California, whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to expect in Pittsburgh.
How is the real estate market compared to other markets that we've got here in Beaver County and in Western PA?
It's very healthy. For anybody who likes to track the numbers online, we're always ranked, or at least over the last few years that I've been doing this, very highly as far as growing markets, desirable places to live. And I've seen quite a few in the last year that had Pittsburgh and Western PA ranked number one as, one of the most attractive real estate markets, one of the most attractive places to live. Yeah, so whether you're a buyer or seller, real estate all over Western PA, it's a good investment. And it's always ranked very highly as a good place to live.
How was it 8 years ago? Were we ranked that high?
No, not as high.
What makes it change? The things you just listed?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of factors, right? You've got affordability is always a big one. Our real estate being more affordable than a lot of other larger, more expensive markets. They look at things like school rankings, safety rankings, walkability scores, environmental factors.
Walkability scores?
Well, if you live in an area, where maybe you can walk a lot of places, or there's public transportation, there's a lot that goes into it. But they look at a lot of factors. Numbers are always big, but how happy are people living there, right? Do they feel like there's what they need as far as public services and with crime and safety and school rankings, and That all goes into it.
How much? That all goes into it from your perspective because it's your job. Matthew
Of course.
Modany is my guest. It's good talk on Beaver County Radio. You understand that. How much of that's already been sorted out when somebody comes to you? Or are you having to give them a lesson? People showing up saying, hey, I want a house for this much. Mm-hmm. You got to explain, okay, here's what that gets in the different categories.
Yeah, absolutely. A big part of what I do, whether it's buyer or seller side, is education. So I spend a lot of time talking with people, going over the world of real estate. And like you said, most people don't come in with all of that already preconceived. There's a lot of education involved.
Which is a longer path to educate somebody that comes in, it's not a bad word, ignorant of the process, or to re-educate someone that comes in after going on the internet and thinking they understand it?
Yeah, there's a lot of, how do I want to put this nicely? Let's say misleading information on the internet. You got to be careful where you source things from, right? And typically local information is the best. But I really don't find a difference whether you're brand new to the real estate world or maybe somebody who hasn't been involved in it for 5, 10, 15 years. Again, a big part of my job is education and making sure my clients are informed and understand everything. And I haven't really noticed much of a difference.
Okay.
There's occasionally the people that say, oh, I sold a house 20 years ago and I didn't have to do this and I didn't have to do that.
I didn't have to sign it when I gave it to my cousin.
Yep. So
is that real estate in general, or is that the governmental paperwork that is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's going to be different state to state. There's definitely some things that Pennsylvania does that others do not. But generally speaking, our region is known for pretty transparent and ethical real estate practices. So we're known as one of the better markets as far as the way that business is conducted. And I might touch on this in a little bit here, but there's actually been some pretty major changes in the real estate world recently that went into effect last Saturday, August 17th, and it's something that is in effect nationwide. A lot of what we do locally really, I don't want to say it hasn't changed dramatically. Some different paperwork, some different procedural things that everybody has to do now. But a lot of it, we were already kind of in the ballpark. We were either doing it or we were doing something very close to it. So it is a new era in real estate. It's something that's very fresh. It's less than a week old.
How much are we talking about new aspects to the process?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Pennsylvania going, let's make some more laws?
Yeah. It's not just Pennsylvania. It's nationwide, but there's been some changes. One of the biggest things, and again, this all kind of comes back to transparency in the process and trying to educate the consumer, make sure that they feel very comfortable about what they're going through and that they understand things step by step. One of the big changes now is on the buyer side of things, there's a requirement in place that you have to have some kind of what's called a buyer agency agreement in place before you're allowed to show a home. So there's a number of different ones available.
Matthew, dumb it down. What does that mean?
Okay, so let's say you call me up, right? Your friend highly recommended calling me to buy a house.
All right.
You know, back in the day, it was, I'll say, easier to maybe go out on short notice, maybe a few hours notice, get out and check out a house.
You mean from a preliminary, I want to buy a house, to, oh, I got one.
Yeah.
Describe it for me. Yeah, I got one of those. Let's go meet.
Yeah.
That's not possible now?
Well,
or less?
Yeah, it's different, I guess would be a good way to put it. But what happens now is whenever I make first contact with a buyer, there's some different disclosures and things to go over. And we are trying to be as transparent as possible about on the buying process, how realtor commissions work, and obviously what our duties and responsibilities to the clients are. But they've come up with a number of these different buyer agency forms, and they want the buyer and the realtor to have some time to talk before jumping into looking at homes to understand, hey, here's how the money works. And when you're looking at these homes, they have a number of different options you can go with. They have what's called a single showing option where, let's say we just met each other and you want to look at one house to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Not obviously a big commitment there, right? So we start with one house, that's what's covered, and we can take it from there and update. They have a number of different available options where you can exclusively have one agent that you're working with for certain properties or a set time period. They have other ones where maybe there's, multiple agents that you're currently engaged with. But again, it all comes back to this transparency about the fees and about the agency relationship between a realtor and their client.
You say they with these new rules and new guidelines. Who is they? National.
Well, yeah, it's national. It got rolled out last Saturday, but for anybody who keeps up on the news, they probably saw some of the stories about the lawsuit that I want to say came out of California against the National Association of Realtors, and obviously not a lawyer here, right? So no, not providing any legal input or anything, but it is now in effect, these changes, and there's going to be, a little bit of time for the dust to settle as both consumers and realtors get adjusted to some of these new routines and new forms. So it'll be a work in progress, a learning experience for the next couple weeks, I bet.
As a realtor, is this a good thing for you that has a learning curve, or is this a frustrating thing because it's steps that you didn't previously need?
No, not really. Honestly, I don't think that it's changed the way that we do things all that much. I've always been very big into communication, transparency, so I'm not doing that any differently. I'm still spending a lot of time talking with my clients, walking them through the process step by step and making sure they understand what's going on and where we're at. But I will say that it's different. I think potentially it could slow the conversations down in a good way where, today's world, right? Everybody
wants it now.
Now.
I want it now.
It's Amazon Prime, one-day delivery. It's Taco Bell in 2 minutes.
That Amazon Prime business is scary, Matthew.
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't need that. I want it. I've had 3 glasses of wine. Hit send.
Yep. I think it's good that both sides are taking more time deliberately to discuss things, to go over things. It'll make it better for everybody. So, yeah, it's an adjustment, but I wouldn't say it's a negative one.
What's the shortest time period from first contact with a client to signing it and it being done? It doesn't seem like it'd be something where you're going to get it done in a week, find a house. I mean, I remember our process. It wasn't a week.
Oh, no. I mean, it's different for everybody, but I'd say if someone showed up at my office tomorrow wanting to buy a home, if they were closed on it or under agreement in a week, that's pretty quick by today's standards. So we're still dealing with limited listing inventory. So that's one factor, is there's just not as many homes for sale out there right now. So it's an X factor. I've seen some people find a home they love in a matter of a few days, a few weeks. Then you got to get it under agreement. For others, the process can take quite a while. I've had multiple clients that looked for a home with me for over a year, but they knew what they wanted and they were patient, and luckily all their stories had a happy ending. But the timing is very unpredictable. It can happen quick or it can take quite a while. You just kind of have to buckle up and be ready.
It's good talk. Matthew Modany is my guest on Teleforum. After this, I want you to break down a couple specifics about the new rules, regulations, but I want to argue with you more about the Pirates.
Both of those sound great. Looking forward to it.
Are you going this weekend? Barry Bonds is in town, man.
I know. I'd like to, and I've been wanting to get to a game recently, so I might tempt myself.
Manny, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
The nicest guy. And Barry is coming too.
Bucco fans, get ready for an unforgettable night at PNC Park. Join us Saturday, August 24th for the annual Hall of Fame game. This year, we're honoring Pirates greats Manny Sanguillen, Barry Bonds, and Baseball Hall of Fame manager Jim Leland. Arrive early for the pregame ceremony and stay for the game against the Reds. And that's not all. After the game, you can experience a post-game Zambelli fireworks show, courtesy of IBEW Local Union Number 5. Get your tickets at pirates.com.
Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You're listening live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, proud to call Beaver County home.
The 77th season of high school football coverage on Beaver County Radio is fast approaching. Our Friday Night Lights coverage with Robert Mangino and Mike Azadian gets underway on August 23rd with a Week 0 matchup from Mo Rubenstein Stadium in Ambridge, as the Bridgers will play host to the Western Beaver Golden Beavers. The audio and video coverage gets underway at 6:30 p.m. for pregame, and kickoff is set for just after 7. You can watch the game on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. You can listen to the games on WBVP 99.3 FM and BeaverCountyRadio.com. High school football coverage on Beaver County Radio is brought to you in part by eXp Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Program, the Fry Transportation Group Inc., Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the Beaver County YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, and Beaver County Radio.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Noah Haswell here on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Friday, August the 23rd of 2024, we can expect sunny skies today with a high of 80 degrees. We will have a complete Beaver County weather forecast, but for now, here is a look at news. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that on Wednesday afternoon, 3 suspects have been identified and jailed after a bank robbery at the First Commonwealth Bank located at 80 Wagner Road in Center Township. According to Center Township Police Chief Aldo Legge, Center Township Police, PA State Police, Aliquippa, and Monaca Police responded, and they have arrested 43-year-old Latoya Young of Canton, Ohio, who was the driver of the getaway vehicle, and 2 males, 36-year-old Christopher Lucius and 32-year-old Matthew Smith. One of the male robbers attempted to flee on foot, and it was apprehended by Aliquippa Police Sergeant Nico Dorigo and Mitch Himes from the Monaca Police Department. Latoya Young and the other male were also apprehended when police stopped them. According to Chief Legge, all 3 are lodged in the Beaver County Jail, and $80,000 was taken from the robbery. A murderer has been identified by police that killed 20-year-old Triana Washington in Aliquippa, whose death was confirmed as a homicide. On Tuesday, 25-year-old Jason Banks Jr. was charged with homicide and 2 assault charges not too long after Washington's body was found Saturday morning on the 1200 block of McMinn Street in an alley. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible also confirmed that Banks was Washington's boyfriend. A video was discovered by police, and court documents said Banks assaulted Washington at 7 p.m. on Friday and then tried to push her downstairs. There was also a third person who was seen with Banks and Washington between Reed Street and Wade Street, and a shotgun noise was heard when the trio went through the 2 streets. That third person was identified by police and, while interviewed, told those investigating that Washington was shot by Banks. Banks is being held at the Beaver County Jail without bond. An Aliquippa man was stabbed early Thursday morning and has been taken to the hospital. Police were informed of the stabbing report as they were called to Town Towers at 2:35 a.m. The victim was stabbed in the left arm and had deep lacerations to his forearm after being attacked on a stroll to an apartment building, and a witness told officers that the man was also attacked inside the building's elevator. Police said nothing was spotted inside the elevator. However, inside the dumpster outside of the apartment, there was some bloody clothing. Anyone aware of any further information about this incident can call Aliquippa Police at 724-775-0880. Governor Josh Shapiro has announced that communities in 32 counties in Pennsylvania will go through 66 transportation projects that total nearly $51 million, including 8th Street in Ambridge. On Tuesday, Shapiro confirmed that $1.9 million will be used to affect 8th Street in the middle of Route 65 and Merchant Street, which will have plans to place a median to control speed and turning of traffic, as well as enhancing sidewalks and crosswalks. Pennsylvania is offering its first ever mobile infant formula bank. On Wednesday, it was shown off to the public by Beverly's PGH at no cost, providing both supplies and lactation consultations. Since its inception in 2022, the company has taken care of more than 3,000 babies in both Westmoreland and Allegheny counties.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Some areas could see some patchy fog through the mid-morning. Otherwise, a beautiful sunny day with a high near 80. Partly cloudy tonight will drop down to a low of 56. Lots of sunshine expected tomorrow. Look for a high of 85 and an overnight low of 60. More sunshine on Sunday will reach a high of 86 and a low of 65. And mostly sunny on Monday. We'll see highs in the mid-80s and a low of 67. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
It is Teleforum, but it's not Teleforum. It's way better than Teleforum. It's Good Talk with Matthew Modany. This is being live Facebook streamed. During the commercials, we started talking, and we're going to do this. We'll get back to real estate if you want to, but I know you like sports, so you'd like to see Barry Bonds, but you're more excited about hitting, I call it hitting a little white ball with a stick and going and finding it and hitting it again.
Oh, yeah.
That's your game?
That's my game, baby.
Can I ask why?
I don't know. I guess I just like to punish myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, big golfer, and like we were talking about, looking forward next year. The U.S. Open's back at Oakmont, and I am definitely planning to hit it. It's been something on my bucket list for a while.
What, to watch guys?
Oh, yeah, to watch guys do what I do, but they're going to do it much better than me, so... totally different experience.
I'm kind of teasing you about it because of bitterness. I didn't play golf growing up, and I picked it up later. Mm-hmm. I had no idea what was going on. Similar to baseball, if you don't play baseball or didn't play baseball, it can be boring looking. Mm-hmm. Golf's the same way. If you don't know what they're doing or if you haven't tried it, yeah. What's the great life lesson that you've taken from golf? Because all I can think of is Judge Smales. But there are life lessons out there to be had.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a great one, that I'm a tremendous slouch. So that's a good life lesson.
World needs ditch diggers, too.
Yeah. No, the serious one, though, mind over matter. I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you that golf is very, very mental. The physical part of it you can do. You don't have to be a prime athlete, but realizing that mental capacity to keep yourself focused, keep yourself on task. It's a very, very mental game, and that's helped me a lot in other aspects.
Push away the bad thoughts?
Yep.
How has that helped you in real estate?
Absolutely. I mean, in my business and personal life, really anything, you've got to be able to let those bad shots go quickly and get back on the train for the next good one. And there's a reason we keep coming back, right, all of us golfers. So I'm not going to be on the tour anytime soon. I won't be playing at the U.S. Open in Oakmont, but I also don't plan on giving the game up ever.
Ever?
Oh, I know golfers playing into their 80s, pushing 90.
My dad.
Oh, yeah?
Played after he was 80 and walked every day.
Oh, man, that's great for you.
It's great for you, but it doesn't... The reason I'm asking this, and I'm not asking you as a real estate agent, I'm asking you as a golfer. Mm-hmm. I didn't play growing up, picked it up later, and I got to the point where I was okay enough to not tick off the foursome behind me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Big time.
Pace of play.
Yep.
I got about that good, and I said, okay, I'm done with this. Does it not feel overwhelming to chase the impossible dream? Because that's what a golfer does. I want to hit this ball exactly right every time, regardless of where it is. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's the story that never ends, right? You never win at golf. You just hope to get a little better each year. And I took it up in high school, and I'm going to give a quick little shout out to one of my favorite places in Beaver County, Ironwood Golf Center. My high school golf coach, who is still there, Craig Morris, very good friend of mine. He taught me the game properly. And I like to tell the story. My dad's been a lifelong golfer, and one of the best decisions he ever made was sending me up to see Craig at Ironwood for lessons when I was a junior. You know, I was in high school. I was a young kid. And learning the proper technique, the swing at a young age, and not picking up all of Dad's bad habits really helped my game. I'm not going to go out and say I'm a scratch golfer, but I owe all of what I have with my game to Craig, and love to give the guys at Ironwood a shout out.
All right, so how much did you have to unlearn from watching Dad swing? My dad had a good swing. I learned nothing from watching it.
Lucky for me, I didn't get to see too much of it when I was younger, so I think he steered the ship clear for me and tried to avoid some of the bad habits.
Do you golf with some of your buddies as a buddy foursome, and then some other times golf with business people as a business foursome?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I talk a little bit about the etiquette of golf, because my dad was way old school about it.
I have a funny story about that, actually. One of my best friends since high school who played on the golf team with me, he's one of those guys, easygoing, he'll let anything go. Golf, you got to be on your etiquette. It is really important. And even the guys and girls who, in other walks of life, oh, no big deal, don't worry about it. When you're on that golf course, you got to follow the rules, keep with the etiquette, keep with the pace of play, and, you know, learned all that, luckily, at a young age, too. But that's what's great about golf, right, is you go out and you play with your friends, you go play at a charity outing and, you know, do some good in the world, but it's great for business too. Yeah, there's been plenty of business doors that golf has opened for me.
What do you learn about someone when you spend 4 hours walking around with them playing 18?
How well they can control their temper. That's always the first one. Yeah. There's a lot. I think that you spend that time outside, and you know, it makes people happy to be outdoors. We spend so much of our lives cooped up inside, but definitely their mental fortitude, how they control that mind over matter, and you know, all of us controlling our temper, because you can't chase that little white ball around that you should be able to.
You can't unhit it.
Can't unhit it. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's quite a lot to be learned, and I think that's what's great. Is it's recreational. It's great for business. It's great for charity groups. I love playing in golf outings and try to get in as many as I can every season.
Do you take it serious when it's an outing? Let's say it's a charity outing, because I think I got one coming up and I need help on behavior. All right?
Okay.
If it's a fun event.
Sure.
What changes in the etiquette? Am I allowed to mark my ball with a quarter instead of a dime now?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of tell some of them are far more laid back and casual. The rules, I don't want to say they don't apply, but no one's expecting you to mind all your P's and Q's.
The great foot wedge from out underneath that pine tree.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Judge, improve your lie.
Yeah, you put the Nabisco cracker down as your ball marker, and
wait, what?
Yeah, right. That joking, that little Caddyshack reference.
I know.
I'm sorry, that was Happy Gilmore.
I
just
know,
missed
but
myself.
the homeless. I had forgotten completely.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of Bob Barker references that we hadn't even got to yet.
Yep, but I've played in some very competitive ones.
Do you like that better?
No, I learned a long time ago I was never going to get to the level where I was playing in, you know, the U.S. Open, PGAs, anything like that. So you got to be able to let go of a certain level of that competition. I always go out there and want to win, but the days of getting too competitive, too upset over your scores, that's behind me.
How many good shots do you need in a round for you to leave going, that is pretty good? I'm now, side note, no accidental snowman's thrown in there, but how many, I hit that how I wanted, where I wanted. How many do you need?
Oh, man, there's not an exact number. If I leave that course with everything in my bag intact and I haven't lost any hair.
I haven't broken a club.
Oh yeah, that's a good day for me. No, I don't think there's too much of a equation to it. I just love the game. I get a lot out of it.
I'm just picturing you. You don't. I don't know. Competition changes people.
Oh yeah,
Matthew. You don't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to snap a bag full of clubs over his knee. Are you a snapper or are you a slinger?
There's been a couple slings in the past. And,
really?
Yeah. Luckily, they're few and far between nowadays. That was years ago when I was younger and college days. But yeah, I've played with some guys who could use a little bit of anger management therapy with that, but that's not my scene.
Is the scariest thing in golf showing up as a single, knowing the clubhouse is going to pair you up with a stranger?
Oh, that's my pet peeve.
Is it?
Yeah, my good friend gives me a hard time about that because even as a twosome, sometimes they'll send you out with a third or another duo, and I don't know. I've never been one of those guys. I don't care to play with strangers, and I seem to have really bad luck with it. I always have some interesting story. There was an older gentleman a couple years ago that me and my friend got paired up with, and the guy stole, not on purpose, but accidentally picked up 3 of my balls in the first 5 holes. And
well, okay. First things first. For those of you that don't understand golf, you don't touch the golf ball until you don't. If it's laying in the fairway, why is he picking it up anyway?
You make sure it's yours.
Yeah. What's the number on it? Does it have your initials on it? Is it where you hit it?
Yeah.
So he's just picking. He's on an Easter egg hunt going down the fairway.
I do not have the best luck with my random partner pairings.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's a little pet peeve of mine that most people don't care about, but for me, yeah, I try to have either a twosome or a foursome and go out of my way to make sure that I'm not going to get paired with
and you
some
go to
stranger.
you go to the starter and say, look, I'm only a twosome.
Yep.
Send us off right now. You'll never see us again. We're going to jog to our first shot, second. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I will never forget that guy because I remember we were about, halfway through the round, 3/4 of the way through the round, and he just got in his cart and left one day on one hole.
Oh, he just split?
Just split, never said goodbye to us. No, see you later, fun playing with you. Towards the end of the round, he just disappeared on us, and so it was
with a pocket full of golf balls that he stole from you.
Half a box of my golf balls on accident, but yeah, that's my famous luck.
That is so great. You don't remember what you shot, did you?
No, I don't. No, but I'm never going to forget that guy. I don't know his name, but he's etched in my memory forever.
You're causing me to flash back to a lot of stuff with that story. It's good talk with Matthew Modany. And you want to argue about the Penguins? Because we've argued about the Pirates.
Sure.
I can sit and talk golf with you all day.
Yeah, I mean, I know golf's not the top of the Pittsburgh list, so we can argue some Penguins.
When Oakmont's involved, it is. But I want you to share your thoughts on the Penguins because last year, and I've said that I got to cover sports for a long time, the only sports that I miss being around, playoff hockey is the most amazing thing, and we didn't get that last year. And tell me why that's not going to be the case again, Mr. Optimist.
I am Mr. Optimist. I think that the players on this team underperformed, not everybody, but a lot of them last year, pretty severely.
Enough of them,
yeah. Mr. Erik Karlsson, I'm expecting a big bounce-back season from a guy like him making $10 million a year. He's not going to do what he did last year 2 years in a row. And we all know our infamous captain, Sidney Crosby, and his competitive streak. I don't think that he's going to let this team slide any longer, everything in his power. But they've made some good signings. They're bringing in some great role players. They made a nice trade just a couple days ago. Brandon Yeager went to Winnipeg, and we got their first-round pick from a couple years ago. Rory, I'm trying to remember his name, McGrody.
Yeah, I saw the name. It's like, oh, that's got to be a great locker room nickname.
Yeah, but these guys, from everything I've heard, and I follow the team pretty closely, it's going to be Gino's last year before he goes back to Russia. You know, all Jaromir Jagr.
He does the Jagr. He does the Kasperitis. He does. It's like that's what you do. You go back home. Now, in the case of Jagr, you buy the team and go home.
Right. So there's a lot of factors, but Sid's getting ready to sign what'll probably be his final extension. Gino's already said this is going to be his last year, and they added a lot of youth, a lot of role players. I think the team is going to be much better. We're about a month away from camp, so when we do this again next month, we'll be heavy into the Penguins talk. But I think they're adding the pieces. I think that there's a lot of people that know it's hot seat time. So I would not be shocked to see them make the playoffs again next year and actually be able to compete. They've got the goaltending. They've got some good players on the forwards and the defensemen. So the pieces are there. We'll see what they can do with them.
You talk about hot seat. I want to ask you, as a Western PA lifer, do Pittsburgh sports teams hang on to their bosses longer than they should? The Steelers are famous. They've had, from Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin, 1,000 years, 3 coaches. And you watch other teams and other sports, though. English soccer, there are teams that have 4 coaches in one season. Are we too patient or too stubborn?
I think so, and maybe more recently, right? Like back, 10 years ago, the Penguins, the Pirates weren't really known for that like the Steelers are.
Right.
But I know there's a lot of people around here that would say Sullivan and Tomlin, if they don't have some success this year, some playoff success, those 2 guys are on the hot seat. And Sullivan especially, I think he's a great coach, but I think that maybe his message may be getting lost. Maybe he's losing a little bit of that locker room presence that he used to have. But I think he has another year where they miss the playoffs and they don't make the adjustments they need to make. He's going to be in trouble. And, it happens. I mean, he's a great coach. He won 2 Stanley Cups here, but they've underperformed for a number of years. And some of it comes back to, his stubbornness on certain issues. And Tomlin, all I'm going to say is we all know how long it's been since we won a playoff game.
No, that's not all you're going to say, because when you start that sentence with "this is all I'm going to say," there's more there.
There is more there. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
If Andy Reid can get fired after all his success and he starts a whole new chapter, you see what happened to the Bill Belichick situation in New England. Mike Tomlin is not above getting fired because, if those guys can, any high-level coach can. And it's the NFL. So I'm tired of hearing the standard is the standard. I think they're on the hot seat. They made some great signings in the offseason. They've been doing much better with the drafting. So it's do or die time.
We were talking off air about the Pirates and talking about the financial side of the Pirates. If you're a business person, your motivation to spend $1 gazillion to maybe win, that's tough when you've got a way to make money without going crazy and doesn't guarantee anything. The Dallas Cowboys have spent umpteen bazillion dollars and they ain't won nothing.
Nothing.
So,
and they're not looking that great this year to do it.
How do you balance that as a fan? Can you be rational and understand that from the business perspective, or do you just want wins now?
Yeah, I feel like most fans around here understand. We've been really fortunate with our Steelers and Penguins the last 10, 20 years.
We are spoiled.
Spoiled, yeah. We really are. We've seen some of the best Hall of Fame players in the world. We've seen championships. We've seen, individual awards. I don't expect to see them win every year, but I think most fans know that compete level, right? If they see the team go out, they're competing, they're going to buy tickets, they're going to buy jerseys and concessions. But again, to keep ripping on the Pirates and our friend Bob Nutting because they deserve it, it's obvious when the compete level's not there. And no, I don't want to go spend $15 on a large Coke at a Pirates game if they're out there just walking through the motions.
If you show me you're trying, I'll try to root for you.
Absolutely. It's as simple as that. We've seen from football and hockey, we've seen the success there's always going to be a transitional period, but if the compete level's there, the effort's there, the fans will support.
Almost out of time. Good talk with Matthew Modany. Great talking to Matthew. Here's your last question. Paul Skeen's mustache, brilliant or horrific?
Brilliant.
Is it brilliant?
He's got the image. I mean,
Okay.
you think about great players and something they're remembered for.
You think we could talk him into going full-blown? You remember Raleigh Fingers
Oh, yeah.
with the curly Q?
I'd love to see it.
All right.
I'd love to see it.
Is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't? Because we talked about it. I love talking to you. What should I have asked you that I didn't?
You know what? We're going to have great content for next month. Coming into fall, my favorite season. Talk about some things with the real estate market changes. We'll be about a month into it then, so I'll have a little bit better recap for all the listeners out there. The one thing I do want to say, back to school week, good luck to all the students out there. Good luck to all of our teachers. I'm a big supporter of the teachers. I have a lot of them in my life, so wishing them all the best in the new school year. And, yeah, I think that'll be looking good.
Good talk with Matthew Modany. It's Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
Football season is here, and East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Save is your tailgate headquarters. With all the food and beverages you need to make your tailgates and game day parties the best in town. Fire up the grill with their top quality meats, delicious burgers, hot dogs, and chicken wings. Get your cheese and meat platters, dips, and all your game day snacks. Check out their wide variety of wines and the beer cave. Don't miss out on amazing weekly specials and save money at the pump with every dollar you spend. Stop by your Shop and Save at the Tuska Plaza or East Rochester today for everything you need this football season.
Looking for a great job opportunity? McDonald's now has full-time and part-time positions available to fit your lifestyle and needs. Set up your own hours and have a lot of fun too. Whatever your situation is, McDonald's has a place for you. Apply today at mchire.com. McDonald's is here for you. I'm loving it.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Tune in to Beaver County Radio 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP every Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. for Thinking Logically with Joe Corsai. It is an all-new show that takes a look at the conservative side of politics. Thinking Logically is also presented on the